Silvopasture, meat production. Let me begin with a question. How many of you eat meat? Please stand up if you do. Okay, I would estimate that's around 80 or 90% of you. Now please stay standing if you think, or have heard, that eating meat is bad for the environment. A few of you sat down, but most of you remained standing. And yes, you're right, eating meat, or rather, producing meat, does have a high environmental cost. Why? Well, a number of reasons. The main one, and the only one I'll mention now, is that animals produce a lot of greenhouse gases. Those are gases that make Earth warmer by trapping heat in the atmosphere. The main greenhouse gas that animals produce is methane. It breaks down in the atmosphere quite quickly, which is a good thing, but it has a much bigger effect on the climate than other greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. So it seems like raising animals is a problem for the environment. One obvious solution is for people to eat less meat. To some extent, that is happening, but it's unrealistic to expect everybody to change their eating habits. Here in Canada, for example, people eat about 18 kilograms of beef per person per year. And Canadian beef is exported to well over 50 countries around the world. Solution that is not only better for the environment, but better for farmers and animals, too. It's called silvopasture or agroforestry. So what is silvopasture? In traditional agriculture, animals are raised on land called pasture. Typically, this land is just open fields where grass grows. In theory, the animals can eat the grass, but in practice, the pasture may not grow all the grass that the animals need. This means that farmers often need to use fertilizers and water, both of which have an environmental cost. Sometimes farmers even need to pay for food for their animals, which is bad for their profit margins. Silvopasture is a different way of raising animals. The Latin word silva means forest in English, so silvopasture could be translated as forest pasture. In other words, farmers raise their animals in fields that have both trees and grass, not just grasslands. It may seem like a field with trees is a little different from a field without trees, but in fact, the trees provide many benefits. For one thing, trees provide shade. This can help keep animals cool during the hot summers, which means they experience less stress. In addition, shade from trees helps different kinds of grass to grow in fields. Some of these grasses grow better during spring, some grow well in summer, and some grow well in the fall. This varied growth means that the animals are more likely to have grass they can eat throughout the year, which makes it less likely that farmers will need to provide additional food for them. Further, if farmers choose the right kinds of trees to grow on their land, they can get additional benefits. For example, a farmer could plant trees that bear fruits or nuts that humans can eat. Selling this produce would give the farmer an additional source of income. Alternatively, the farmer could plant trees that produce leaves or fruit that animals could eat. Finally, the trees could produce wood that the farmer could sell. Trees also produce oxygen, and some varieties can remove different kinds of pollution from the air. Unfortunately, no species of tree can remove methane from the atmosphere. So on that level, silvopasture cannot reduce the main impact of meat production, but on many smaller levels, it does. So although silvopasture is not a complete solution to the problems caused by meat production, it does offer a range of benefits over other ways of raising animals if you buy meat at a shop that cares about